The Footprint course, Unit 11, the Initiative Drive. This is challenge day 19 of 30. In the following slide, we're going to focus on the art of deliberate practice. Why practice is imperative to high performance and how you can practice as a trader. What we're going to talk about today is this idea of deliberate practice, and I'm going to go through what deliberate means, and then I'm going to give you a few ideas of how you can be more deliberate in your practice. So the first thing, the definition of deliberate is it's done conscientiously and intentionally. Okay, now just somewhere write down on a piece of paper, conscientiously and intentionally. And ask yourself as you go through the week, ask yourself when you look at something, when you observe the markets, when you're preparing for your day, when you're recording your trade setups, are you doing this conscientiously and intentionally with purpose? Now, I think what a lot of you are going to find is actually you don't do it. Okay, what you're going to find is that a lot of you do it more as, you feel like you have to just fix up your charts and, then put in a line or two here and then you feel like, well, I've done a bit of effort, I'm deserving of something. Now, the second thing to in terms of definition is to engage in long and careful consideration. Now, again, it brings you back to this idea. When a lot of people look at charts, they look at it in a sense of, well, the market came down, it hit this support, or it hit this moving average, or it hit this point, reference point, and then it bounced. But how many of you actually think about, firstly, what brought the market down to that point in the first place, and then what actually made it bounce? Now, a lot of you might think that prices going down reflect sellers selling. That's by definition, that is incorrect. Okay, prices can go down for a number of reasons. There could be hedging reasons, there could be spreading reasons, there could be, long liquidation. There's a number of reasons why prices go down. So how many of you actually engage in long and careful consideration when viewing the markets? Now, the reason I want to talk about deliberate practice this week, and the reason I've shown you that video is, a lot of us, including myself, we admire, we admire the best golfers in the world and the best sportsmen in the world, and we admire the skill and talent that they have, and we look at them and we envy them, and we think, well, I wish I could be that person. Why am I not that person? Well, I'll tell you why you're not that person, because at the end of the day, you do not deliberately practice every single day to become that little bit better. All right? Don't forget, these professionals, we only see the tip of the iceberg. We only see the end outcome. We don't see the hours upon hours of pain and suffering and purposeful practice that goes into it. Now, the picture I've shown you is a very simple annotation of what professional golfers have to do. Now, if you look at this picture, you will find that sometimes a professional golfer has to stand over a 3 or a 4 or 5 foot putt for 2 hours. He has to hit the same putt 100 times over, whether he likes it or not. Why? Because this deliberate practice is what will differentiate him from the winner and everyone else when it comes to that pressure putt. That is why they practice these things, and that is why you need to be practicing them. So let's go over a few points. Firstly, it might be a bit cliche, but practice does make perfect. If you practice the same thing time and time again, right, when it comes to actually delivering, you're going to execute far more better. And you're not going to execute better simply because you've practiced. You're going to execute better because there's a lot more trust in what you're doing. All right? We deliberately practice because we want to develop real skill. All right? Trading the markets day in, day out is not about finding those levels, clicking, and then you make a bit of money and you move on, you come back the next day. That's not trading. All right? Trading is about developing key skill sets, whether that's learning to sort of manage prices, if that's becoming better at managing risk, if that's better at trading an array of markets, whether that's understanding the difference between algorithmic type trading or longer term swing trading. Every one of these is a skill in its own. And in order to develop those skills, you have to deliberately practice what is going to make you better at that skill. Right? We've already spoken about the tip of the iceberg. Don't forget, the end outcome is just the tip. You know, you can marvel at you know, some traders. You know, I can look at traders around me and think, oh wow, these guys, you know, they're making £100,000 a day, and wow, why am I not that person? Why can't I be as good as him? But in the day, I don't get to see what goes on, you know, behind the scenes. I don't know what sort of pressure and, you know, sort of things he does on the weekend. I don't know what sort of, you know, mental exercises this guy is spending hours every single day doing. Right? But he's doing something. And that's the important thing. He's deliberately practicing something that makes him that little bit better. Then shortcuts. Right? This is something that a lot of people are constantly looking for in this industry. Shortcuts. There is no such thing as a shortcut. I cannot teach any one of you to trade. No one can teach any one of you to trade. There is no book, there is no mentor, there is no program, no tool, there's nothing in this world that can give you a shortcut to trading success. Nothing. Alright? That's the first thing to understand. Only you, through deliberate practice, can develop the shortcuts over a long run. That's the important thing to understand. Then, trading isn't fun, guys, I promise you. Trading is absolutely horrible. Okay, it shouldn't be. I love this game to bits, but I absolutely hate it sometimes. Right? It shouldn't be fun. If it's fun, you're not doing the right thing. It's a boring job. It's a process like any job. We get to the end of the day, we're green, we're happy. Okay, because we followed the process, we deliberately did what we needed to do, and the end outcome was positive. Right? During the day, it's not fun. It's not fun sitting here for 2-3 hours and you're bored out of your head waiting because the market's not giving you anything. Important to understand that. Then smart practice. Right? Golfers don't just go out onto a driving range and hit 1,000 balls. Right? They work on very specific skills. They work on very specific elements of their game. Are you working on specific sets of your trading game? If you want to be a professional trader, what makes you any different to anyone else that wants to be a professional trader? Then, tools. What are some of the tools you can use for deliberate practice? Well, yes, first and foremost, a mentor is one of them. You need someone to guide you. Right? You listening in on this Periscope today, guys, already you are taking a step in the right direction. Why? Well, because I've probably got more experience, or I'm ahead of most of you. In other words, I've been through some of the pitfalls that some of you are going to go through. So me guiding you, me giving you a little heads up as, oh, you know what, you're probably going to blow out at some point. Yeah? Me giving you a heads up, you're probably going to average a bad trade sometime and have to learn a very, very valuable lesson. Me giving you these heads ups is going to speed your learning curve up, and that's what's important, and that's why you want a mentor. Then, active. Okay, you have to be active traders. If you're sitting and looking at these markets going, well, I took one trade today because I couldn't find any other setups, and then tomorrow I took 2 trades. That's not good enough, guys. You have to be constantly scouring the market for opportunity, for new opportunity. Not just those opportunities, those pin bars and those support and resistance lines that you learned in a textbook. Okay, newsflash. If it's in a textbook, everyone has got it. Alright, if it's in a book, or if there's, this wonderful speaker that's giving you all these wonderful setups, well, newsflash. Everyone's got it. It's public information. You have to be active every single day, because when you're active, you will learn to develop and memorize and see new strategies. That's what will give you a real opportunity in the day. Smart analysis. Don't spend 3-4 hours scouring the markets. You're wasting your time. Right? Be smart in how you view the market. Don't have 7 different tools. Don't have 7 different indicators. You're just complicating a simple process. Stick to one. Keep it simple, keep it smart. Analyze the market with a very specific intent. That way you're going to get very specific outcomes. Then, replay functionality. How often, and I'm going to show you this in a minute, how many of you do you actually ever replay how you execute in the market? I bet you, I'll take a bet, maybe 5% of you. Maybe 10%. Right? Every one of the professional traders that I sit around, every one of the traders that I associate, I know they go at the end of the day and they go and look how they executed their trades. They go and look at the physical entry into the market of how they executed, how they managed to clip, how they got out of the target, how they took stops. They look at these things because it's all about the inches. If you can be better at the little inches, they're going to end up becoming yards one day. And that's why we focus on it. Then teams. There is nothing better than being part of a community, being part of a team, being part of people and associating with people that have a like-minded mindset. Take, for example, many of you have been to the gym before. Now, anyone knows that if you go to the gym on your own, yes, you'll be motivated for a few weeks. Yes, you'll push yourself for a few weeks. What about those hard days? What about when it's cold outside? What about when you're stiff? What about when you just had a long day and you can't be asked? Right? You need that person. You need that team to lean on. You need that other person that's saying, well, you know what, if you're not going to go, I'm going to go. And that motivates you, that pushes you. And that's what a team environment is. When you're in a team, if you can see people around you doing well, there is zero excuse for you to do badly. There is no reason for you to perform badly. You've got the same access to the same information, the same charts, the same everything. There's no reason for you to perform poorly. That's why you want to be in a team environment. So, to sum it up, guys, do you deliberately practice? Answer this question. Tonight, do yourself a favor. Be honest with yourself. Take a few moments tonight to just answer this. Do you deliberately practice what you're trading? If you're not being professional enough. So the initiative drive, again, one of the better momentum-based strategies. It's a great strategy simply because it provides very, very unique, easy clues and really good potential profitability. That being said, obviously, do note this is a Footprint standalone. As some of you might know or remember, we did talk a lot about initiative in the volume profiling course that Axia offers. So now you're going to see it being applied with the use of the Footprint tool. So with that in mind, obviously, in terms of execution, again, it is a little bit of a passive type execution strategy. Those are the elements of this trade strategy that you can expect to see. Let's now then move on and have a look at some of the principles to be adopted in the initiative strategy. So obviously, like every strategy, we're going to go through a number of different principles. Some of the key highlighted principles within the initiative drive strategy will include, first and foremost, initiative responsive price action, as we can see in number 10. And this will sort of really bring into full view the understanding of what initiative drive is, how it works, how it functions. Obviously, we'll always speak a lot about context because an initiative drive will ultimately do different things depending on the context. And the other two key principles we will focus on are delta pocket positioning as well as liquidity. Good luck with the session. Obviously, do bear in mind, once you're done with the session, you can come back on the slides and view all the charts as well as the examples, or the full examples, utilized within this unit.